Welcome back. You're with me today, Justin McDonald, and today we're going to talk about something that I actually wrote myself as a quote, which is don't be afraid or don't be scared of changing directions. And I actually, of course, I randomly picked that one. And once in a while, I write my own. And I also remember, I think, being inspired to write that down from one of Jim Edwards' books. And he is a copywriter, an excellent copywriter. He actually, I'm pretty sure he assists and has like a program making scripts for funnels and copy. So, anyways, thanks, Jim Edwards. But part of what he was saying in that book was saying, like, explain why to people if necessary. You're making this change. And you want to get people to love you or hate you. There's no money in the middle. So you want people to love you or hate you. I know that sounds maybe counterintuitive for some, but people that are indecisive and don't know if they love you or hate you probably aren't spending any money on you. And also, speaking of being indecisive, this is why you shouldn't be scared of changing directions. Sometimes you have to make bigger choices too. You might have to leave where you live. You might have to leave your spouse. You might have to leave your job. I mean, just those 3 things right there are very impactful, stressful, can be scary moments for people's lives. But don't be scared of making a change. Envision what it is that you're trying to do. Stand up for what you believe in. If you try to please others all the time, nothing's going to come from it. And the key word there is all the time, or the key words there is all the time. You'll definitely do well in this life pleasing others and serving others, but if that's all you do all the time, you might find yourself wearing yourself out and not getting a lot out of it. So there needs to be a balance there. And then, sometimes there's times we all aren't really, there serving anybody or helping anybody out or pleasing anybody. And on the other side of that is not good either. It's not really fulfilling to live a life where you're just consuming and doing things just for yourself all the time. And again, the opposite is true too. Serving other people all the time and not taking care of yourself is not good either. There's that famous saying, if you're on a plane and the plane was having an emergency, which would suck, right? They would drop down those breathing masks and they say, put the mask on yourself, right? And then once you're able to, be stable again, then you can put the mask on others. So what that's kind of saying as a metaphor too, like in order for you to even take care of yourself, I mean take care of others, your family, your children, you have to take care of yourself. You have to put the breathing mask on yourself first, and then you can help other people. So there's a weird magic almost in being like selfless, almost selfish, I guess you could say, in the pursuit. You are also helping others. So like having a giving account and giving in the beginning is very important, because of course like as you are growing and everything's starting to snowball, if you're giving like 1 to 10% of all of your income, of all of your profit, then think about how much that can be when you're making more. And now all of these foundations or um, fundraisers, whatever your charities that you're raising money for, they're also like rooting for you too, right? Because they know that the more you succeed, the better off they are. I mean, I'm not saying that's like that's the best reason why to do it, but I mean, what's wrong with having a perk for giving and doing the right thing, right? Having having the people that you're helping out root for you. What's wrong with that? So don't be afraid to change directions. It's sometimes it's used. Sometimes we get used to like uh, and normalize things we don't really like because we don't really want like the bigger change. Like we're able to tolerate a lot of things that aren't reflective of our values, I guess you can say, and we're willing to do that. You know, we're willing to do that for just to like basically remain stagnant and stay in something that you know deep down that you don't feel like you belong anymore. Again, it could be a deeper thing. It could be where you live, where you work, or who you're with. I mean, I'm sure there's other micro areas and and different events that you're a part of where you might feel like that. Like maybe you're involved in some kind of outing or sport or group or some kind of setting where it's like repetitive, like every day or every week, something that you attend, and just because you don't want to be like all alone or lonely or whatever it is, and not have anything to do on like a Friday, Saturday night or something like that, you're not willing to like sacrifice that and like stay home because you're just like, even if I'm gonna have a bad time going out, I'm still gonna go out because staying at home sucks. So like sometimes you just need to change your direction there. Maybe you need to do something else fun on a Friday, Saturday. Maybe you don't necessarily need to go home, or maybe you do. Maybe that's the lesson. Is staying home and finding ways to enjoy being home where it feels fulfilling, like you're going out. Not like you're pretending like you are, but it's just like maybe there's just some things you've put off or fallen behind on, and maybe it be a good day or night to catch up on it a little bit. You know, we're always feeling like we're falling behind and stuff like that too. So just to kind of wrap this up, like in not being afraid of changing directions is a phrase that a lot of copywriters are probably familiar with by now, and it's like avoiding analysis paralysis, or some people might call it decision fatigue, and that's like kind of like what's for dinner, right? Or what should we do today, right? Like those questions where you're just like, I don't know, like your spouse or somebody or kid or whatever might ask that question, and you're just like, I don't know. So like them and you like having like that decision fatigue, that analysis paralysis is really dangerous and lethal in business settings. So like this is another reason why you want to crush and annihilate the fear and being scared of changing, because like it might really be like what you're destined to do, like making that change. And it's too easy to just sit back and be comfortable, or like, you're afraid of the rejection or the outcome, or it might not work out the way you want, and you just start overthinking it. So like, however you can avoid like overthinking and overwhelming yourself and giving yourself that anxiety that doesn't necessarily exist, it just exists in your own mind. But like, one way to, there's different ways to like deal with that, and I'm no doctor, but just having things broken down in more manageable, realistic chunks too. Like having dreams and goals is one thing, but like putting them in a more realistic lens and like being practical and relevant with it is absolutely the best thing you can do for yourself. I know some people might say, hey, how can you limit somebody's dreaming and mind expansion on that? How can I? Well, because sometimes we just get too far off the rails and we just lose touch with the original plan and idea and the simplicity of it, and then it becomes harder and harder and more daunting. That's why. So yeah, you definitely want to break things down in more manageable chunks. Avoid decision fatigue. And if you're running an honest business and you're living a more honest life, it makes it easier to make decisions too, and to follow with what you believe and trust your instincts and trust your gut, because you've been dialing it in a certain way, and why fix what's not broken. Keep moving forward and be open, and realize and be prepared for all the changes. That's the best thing you could do right now. If you have any downtime at all, then prepare yourself for what can go wrong a little bit, instead of worrying about it or getting scared about it or reading into it or wondering if it's going to happen. Any downtime you have, you know, or organize your life, organize your filing cabinet. I should talk, right? Organize your clothes. The weather's getting nicer. You know, donate what you don't need. Recycle what you can't donate. Throw away what you can't recycle or compost. But every day, you want to give back. You gotta be able to work a little bit towards your goals every day and learn something from it. And that's all I really have to say for today. I just really hope that you can like really see and envision this mission that you're on, and see that how important it is, and that you're going to have to make some changes, and it's going to be difficult, and it's going to take a lot of hard work, but it's really important that you know what your mission is and you know what your purpose is, because then all these changes, all these bumps in the road are not going to derail. You're gonna be in an unstable environment, but because you have that stability and that persistence and that mission in mind, somebody might knock you a little bit off track a little bit, but you're gonna still be on track. There's nothing like being off track and not knowing where you're going. You're just gonna fall further off the track, and it's gonna be harder for you to get back on. So just stay on track, be persistent, know the direction you're going in, and know that you're going to fall in, there's going to be some danger. And visualize, well, what are the common dangers that happen, right? We live in a world with technology. You can find out, okay, this happens, this happens, this happens, and this happens. Are we going to worry about it, or are we going to go back and say, okay, let's make sure that, check that box off. All right, make sure that's in check. Make sure that's in check. Can something still go wrong? Of course. But at least if it rains, you got an umbrella or shelter. If it gets cold, you got a jacket. If you get thirsty, there's something to drink, there's water. You know what I mean? These are the kinds of things I'm talking about that you're going to want to prepare yourself in every situation. Bring a spare tire with you. Bring a phone with you, even if you don't use one and like to keep it on. Just make sure that you have what you need in case there's an emergency. And then that way you can respond to what you need to respond in calm and collected way, instead of reacting and overreacting, and it just doesn't get any of us closer to where we want to go when we're overreacting or underreacting, and we're just reacting even. So don't be afraid, don't be scared of changing directions. Thank you very much for listening or watching. Have a good day.